Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Now these Edomites, Jehovah Wickedness, Christianity Church, they try to hide themselves in the scriptures when the scriptures is a plain and an easy story. And we know it'll be revealed to the Israelites according to Deuteronomy 29:29, but it's some major blinders on these Edomites' eyes to not be able to understand this simple story that's written. Now, when you go to Revelation 16, this is where this picture stems out of, because 16:13 of Revelation, the 16th chapter, verse 13, it says, "And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet." So here it seems like the beast and the dragon are 2 different things. But when you go to chapter 12 and chapter 13, you can get a clearer understanding and understand that these beasts are not different things. They're just describing one thing 3 different ways. And you got the two-horned beasts. You see, they're the same thing, but it's just giving you some details on part of the so-called beast. Okay? And so, or the so-called red dragon. Now, when you go to chapter 12 of Revelation, verse 3, it says, "And there was another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head." Okay, that's the great red dragon. Then when you get to chapter 13, it says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon the horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy." Now, that's 2 beasts. Then when you get to verse 11 of chapter 13, it said, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a beast." Now, those are the 3 so-called different beasts, but you got verses connecting them and letting you know that they're really all the same. When you go to chapter 13, verse 2, it gives you a clear understanding how these things are the same. And verse 4, it says, "And the beast which you saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion." Here we go. "And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." So the dragon is the same as the beast, because the dragon, just how John wrote it, he just say this dragon gave this other beast his power, when they the same operation. Because then you go to verse 4, say, "And they worship the dragon that gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast." You see, they the same thing. They worship the dragon and they worship the beast. He adding them both together. saying, who is like the beast, who is able to make war with him? You see, he didn't ask the question, who is like the dragon, because they the same thing. John trying to let you know they are the same thing. That's why when you go to the third one, in 11, it saying there's another beast coming up out of the earth that had two horns. That means it's two kingdoms, and they was like a lamb, but they speak as a dragon. They still is a dragon. They still a part of the dragon. And the verse above that will let you know these are the people that put Israel in captivity. These are the people who these kings are the same kings that put the nation of Israel in captivity on earth. You see? So it ain't no dragon is one thing and the beast is another thing. And the false prophet came out of the beast and the dragon, all that. Ain't no false. The false prophet. Let's go back to 16. Revelation 16. Verse 13. Revelation 16, verse 13. And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. The beast, the dragon, the false prophet, they all the same thing. They the 10 kings, the red dragon, the red devils that put the nation of Israel in captivity. Now when you go to Zechariah, let's throw in Zechariah while we on this subject of putting the nation of Israel in captivity. Let's go to Zechariah, and Zechariah start his whole book off with this situation. He say, then I lifted up and saw, and behold, 4 horns. So Zechariah was specific. He wasn't giving you no major parable and writing in signs. He was specific. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. This is Zechariah, the first chapter. In the first chapter, he breaks it down. And he's in verse 19, he said, and I saw unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the 4 horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Verse 20, and the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. So he's giving you 4 kingdoms that put the nation of Israel in captivity, and then you got another 4 kingdoms that's coming to battle with them. That's the 4 carpenters. And it's pretty much a bunch of Edomites, the red dragon, and then you got the kings of the earth that's going to come battle with them, like in Revelation. The red dragon, Babylon the Great, was attacked by the kings of the earth. That Babylon the Great is just America and Britain. So they're going to be attacked by everybody. But this is what happened. These red dragons over here, that last beast was letting you know that it was 2 kingdoms a part of the red dragon, because Russia is a part of the red dragon too. But Russia gonna fight against their own people, because Satan gonna fight against Satan. That's why Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, he say if Satan's kingdom is divided, how can his kingdom stand? Because his kingdom gonna be divided in the last day. And so, but Zechariah, he let you know that it was a group of them, 4 main kingdom that was selling the Israelites, that had a major part in selling the Israelites. And then you got 4 carpenters that's going to have a part in bringing down the first 4. And that's in verse 21. It said, then I saw, and then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, the ones that scattered Judah, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles. You see, which lifted up the head over the land of Judah to scatter it. So it's gonna be Edomites from Russia and from other places, connected with the other Gentiles or the other heathens. They gonna come against this two-horned beast that scattered the Israelites. But the two-horned beast spoke like a dragon, because they are dragons. They the same red dragon. And so he had Zechariah they gave it to him in a certain way, where he had to divide them in two categories. And so John just gave you the same beast, and he gave you the same 10 horns. He called one a dragon, and then he gave you another one as just a beast. But then the third one he gave you was with 2 horns, to give you details on this is just two kingdoms of the beast gonna be the main part. And these 2 kingdoms wind up being Babylon the Great. They gonna be riding on top of the other 8 kingdoms or whatever, other 8 kings, or the 10 kings. So it's really 12. It's really 12 kingdoms, because Babylon the Great is the same as this 2-horned beast, the mother of all harlots. Because America and Britain, they started all this whoredom with women walking around butt naked and stuff. But these are all the same thing. They are part of the Edomite nation, the red dragon. All them kings was Edomites. When you go to Revelation, let's see, Revelation 17. Revelation 17, let's start at 12. And Revelation 17:12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. They the same part of they with the beast. The 10 kings is with the beast, but they not just horns, they kings. They letting you know what they talking about. And so these Jehovah Wickedness peoples, they talking about that this beast is the devil, a wicked angel, and all this stuff, when these are kings. Kings never was in heaven. The 10 kings was never in heaven. That's a bold-faced lie that this is some wicked angel. Because the 10 king was in heaven with the dragon. The dragon had the 10 kings on it. And the 10 kings was never in heaven. And it never fell from heaven. And they don't even understand what heaven is. Heaven is in another realm. That means heaven is all around. It's not just up there out of space where you can't see. No, heaven is in another realm, and it's everywhere. They don't understand the realm. So you got these dragons trying to separate the things and say that they're different when they are the same thing. They're just a part of the Edomite nation. They done put all kind of names on themselves, and I'm not finna quote all them names. They Edomites. They're Edomite kings. And they just got different parts. And so these dragons trying to confuse people, but it's a simple story where these Edomite kings is going to fight against the woman, and the woman is the nation of Israel. And the woman got 12 tribes. They going to fight against this woman and try to attack her, but Yahushua going to come and save the day. That's when in Revelation 12 verse 7, the war gonna break out in heaven, and the angels gonna fight against these dragons, these 10 kings, these this government. Let's get a clear picture of these 10 kings. This is the angels, the dragon. You see, the dragon got all this military planes and stuff. That's who the dragon is. The dragon ain't making these. It's not gonna be an angelic war. See, this angelic war is some BS. It ain't never happened ever. Never, ever, ever in heaven was it a war going on with the angels. God don't got no confusion up in heaven talking about he warring with these people. God has never had no war up in his realm around him. Nobody is fighting. He got total control of that thing. Ain't no confusion. He said God is not the author of confusion. But they trying to say that God is the author of it's some confusion up there with God. That's what they want to say. They want to say it's some confusion up there with God. That's 1 Corinthians 14:33. It say, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. So them dragons trying to blaspheme God, and that's why the dragon had blasphemy on it. Cause that's all the dragon does. These Edomites, they sit around and blaspheme the Most High Yahweh. You see, that's all they sit around and do. Tell a bunch of lies on Yahweh that it's a freaking people up there battling. He got angels battling each other. A bull-faced lie. The dragon was clearly had 7 heads and 10 horns. That's 10 kingdoms that this dragon is. Satan the devil was 10 kingdoms. He was the great dragon. The 10 kingdoms was cast out of heaven, fighting with the armies of these other kings that was going to attack they behind. Fighting against Yahweh. When you go to 1919, let you know who is these people, who is fighting Yahweh. It say 1919, and I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet. You see, that's what's going on. The false prophet and the beast, they all the same thing. They just got different titles. He just called them different things in Revelation, but they were the same thing. They all the part of the Edomite kingdom. These red dragons run around here with militaries, and they the governors, the presidents, the senators, the Congress. You know, they organized the same way they was organized in Rome and in Greece. You got Greek fraternities over here. The Greek fraternities is controlling everything. The government, the Freemasons, they all connected with each other, and they running the scene. Ain't no other nations over here in any of their countries, any of these kings of the earth. There's no other nationalities sitting around running their situation. They running their whole kingdom. They the majority in their kingdom, and they running their kingdom. That's the blessing of Esau. But I'm going to leave it there. Just want to bring out that the beast, the dragon, and the 2-horned beast are the same Edomites. They're the same nation. It's just a nation being described in different ways. They're not nothing different. You see, it just got they're just different parts of the same nation. And so it's no wicked angels. That's a bold-faced lie. But I'm going to leave it there. All praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. by Shimmer Cocket Dash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Death to America, death to these red dragons. Shalom.